Austin Dillon didn't just lose this weekend. He got beaten by the one driver who already knows exactly how to win $1 million. $1 million. That kind of money can change a person's whole life. And going into this past weekend, Austin Dillon had a real shot at grabbing it, but by the time the race was over, that shot was completely gone. Let me explain what happened, because it all fell apart fast. NASCAR has a special event called the In-Season Challenge, and fans were really looking forward to it this year. Here is how it works in plain words. 32 drivers get put into a bracket, kind of like the brackets you see in a basketball tournament. Each driver gets matched up against one other driver. In every match, the driver who finishes higher in that race moves on. The driver who finishes lower goes home. Win your match, and you keep going. Lose once, and you are done. At the very end, one driver is left standing, and that driver wins $1 million. Winner takes all. There is no prize for second place, nothing for trying hard. You either win it all, or you walk away with nothing. So the pressure was huge from the very first race. That first race happened on June 28th at Sonoma Raceway in California. Now, Sonoma is not a normal NASCAR track. Most NASCAR races go around in ovals, turning left over and over again. Sonoma is different. It is a road course. That means the track twists and turns both left and right, with hills and tight corners packed in. It is about 1.99 miles long, and it is one of the hardest tracks on the whole schedule. Drivers have to brake hard, shift gears a lot, and stay sharp every single second. One small mistake can cost you big. Austin Dillon came into the weekend with a clear goal. He wanted to win his match and move on in the bracket. He drives the famous number 3 car for Richard Childress Racing. That number carries a lot of history in NASCAR, so there is always extra attention on it. But almost from the start, the day went wrong for him. He just could not find any speed. The car was a handful, and he struggled badly through all those twisty turns. While the fast guys up front were flying around the track, Dillon was stuck fighting just to keep up. And it only got worse as the laps ticked by. When the checkered flag finally waved, Dillon crossed the line in 27th place. That is deep in the back of the pack, and to make it sting even more, he finished more than a minute behind the leaders. In racing, a full minute is a giant gap. It is not close. It is not almost. It is way, way back there. Here is the part that really hurt. Remember the bracket? Dillon was matched up against Ty Gibbs, and Gibbs did not just beat him. Gibbs had a fantastic day. He finished third, right up at the front. Reporters called it a career-best finish for Gibbs at Sonoma, so there was no real contest at all. Gibbs finished third. Dillon finished 27th. In the bracket, the higher finisher wins. That meant Gibbs moved on, and Dillon was knocked out. And it gets even tougher to swallow. Ty Gibbs is not just any driver. He is the defending champion of this whole event. He won the In-Season Challenge last year. So Dillon's $1 million run ended in the very first round, beaten by the one guy who already knows exactly how to win the thing. Just like that, it was over. One bad race, and Dillon's shot at $1 million was gone. There was no second chance, no do-over, no wait until next week. That is the cold, hard truth about this format. It does not care how good your season has been. It does not care about your history or your famous car number. 1 week result, and you are out. Now, here is something that might make Dillon feel a tiny bit better. He was not the only big name to get bounced early. The number 1 seed in the whole bracket was Tyler Reddick. On paper, he was one of the favorites to win it all, but his car had a power steering problem during the race. And without good steering on a twisty road course, you have almost no chance. He fought it as long as he could, but he ended up finishing dead last. His opponent, Alex Bowman, came home in 10th and moved on, so the top seed got knocked out too in his very first match. That tells you just how wild and unforgiving this bracket can be. Let me give you a quick word on who actually won the race, just so you have the full picture. The winner at Sonoma was Shane Van Gisbergen, who is one of the best road course racers in the sport right now. He held off the field and took the checkered flag. Ty Gibbs, the driver who beat Dillon, finished third after running strong all day long. But the story everyone is talking about is Austin Dillon and how fast his big dream slipped away. Think about it from his side for a second. You spend all week getting ready. You and your whole team work hard to set up the car just right. You show up knowing $1 million is sitting out there, waiting for whoever can grind through the bracket. You only need to beat one guy to keep your hopes alive. And then, in a few short hours, it is all gone. Not because of a crash, not because of bad luck with a flat tire, just plain old speed, or in this case, the lack of it. Dillon simply did not have the pace to keep up, and the bracket showed him no mercy. It is also worth pointing out that this is the second year of the In-Season Challenge. The first one ran last year, and fans loved how exciting it was. The whole idea is to add some drama to the middle of the season, when things can sometimes feel a little slow, and it works. Every single race turns into a must-win. Every finish matters. There is no hiding and no coasting along. You either get the job done, or you pack up and go home. For Dillon, going home is exactly what happened. His finish in 27th was just too far back to survive. A full minute behind the leaders is not the kind of day that wins you anything in a head-to-head match. And going up against a driver as hot as Ty Gibbs, who finished all the way up in third, there was simply no path forward. The numbers did not lie, and they were not kind. So what comes next? The In-Season Challenge keeps rolling on without Austin Dillon. The drivers who survived head to Chicagoland Speedway for the next round. Each week, more drivers will be knocked out, one match at a time, until only one is left holding that giant check for $1 million. But the number 3 car will be watching from the sidelines this time around, already out of the running before the second round even begins. For Austin Dillon and the fans who pull for him, this one is going to sting for a while. He had a real shot at the biggest mid-season payday in the sport. He had that famous number 3 on the door and a clear chance sitting right in front of him. And in the end, one rough day on one of the trickiest tracks in all of NASCAR took it all away in a single afternoon. That is just how brutal this format is. One race, one result, one chance. And for Austin Dillon, that one chance is now firmly in the rearview mirror. That is just how brutal this format is. One race, one result, one chance, and for Austin Dillon, that chance is now gone. The famous number 3 will be watching from the sidelines while the drivers who survived keep chasing that $1 million without him. He had a real shot sitting right in front of him, and one rough day on one of the trickiest tracks in all of NASCAR took it all away in a single afternoon. You spend all week getting ready, you only have to beat one guy, and $1 million is waiting on the other side. Then, in a few short hours, it is all gone. No crash, no bad luck, just not enough speed when it mattered most. That is the cold truth Austin Dillon is living with tonight, and it is a truth that does not get any easier the more you think about it.